Hey guys, it's FallenDice, and welcome to episode 21 of FallenDice Plays Better Than BuildCraft. And this is the continuation of my cow breeding facility episode. Um, I kind of had to break it up into two episodes just because of the large amount of material. I suppose if I would just gone through and did it the first time and everything went correct, it probably would have been short enough. But you know, nothing ever goes according to plan, and that's what makes it fun. So, anyways, without sitting here and rambling too much further on, let's get right back into where we left off, and let's go work on our timing circuit to control our breeding facility. All right, we got our timing down. So my initial thing was, I'm using my turntable set to max and found out that going around it's about 15 seconds going around. So even were I to fill it all the way up, I would only get, 15, 30, 45, 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minutes on the timer. Wasn't long enough. Because again, I need 5 minutes on the timer for each one of the stages. So what I ended up doing is I put repeaters, 3 ticks, 3 ticks, 3 ticks, coming around, 3 ticks, and then 2 ticks, and basically then feeding into the gearbox. So it's going to come over here. The delays cause it so that it doesn't shut the gearbox off until it's actually moved away from it, so it doesn't get stuck on the gearbox. And then in this position, it ends up freezing in place for another 5 seconds. And that is exactly how much time I needed to make it so each cycle was 20 seconds instead of 15 seconds. So then we've got 2040 1 minute, 2042, 2043, 2044, 2045 plus the extra one. And because it was not exactly the right amount. So basically the timer goes off and this will pop up at about 5 minutes and 6 or 7 seconds. And I'm okay with the few 6 or 7 seconds because if I don't have enough ticks on here, when it gets to this point, it'll reach that and it'll actually stop it before it makes the turn over to here, and then it'll get locked in place. So I had to have that many ticks on it to get this to work. It's the fewest I could do. But very compact, so this will work really well for our setup. Um, not to knock Bathysay's Tower of Time because it's pretty darn cool looking, but definitely more compact and a lot less effort to get my timer. So, however, I wanted to get a 20-minute timer. I'd have to find some other way of getting this to add um, multiple times in a row, but I don't. So, I guess we can head back over there and get some more work done. All right, so we did a little tweaking here, and it now works as it should. When it powers coming from this block here, it'll go up for the length of the time it takes to go around, which still seems like a little bit, but now instead of doing the which we were planning on doing with 6 blocks on the lengthener, technically I think we really only need to do the 4, and we can probably even just put the repeaters almost on non-existent. So it'll still take or require the pulse lengthener to make it all the way around before it moves on to the next path, but at least we're not going to have the issue of them going off at the same time. So the only other issue I have now is that I put this at the top when technically I probably should have put it down at the bottom, since the bottom is where it's going to start first. Which kind of but I may move it down here, but then again, down here is where all my storage and that stuff is. I kind of like having it up here where there's nothing else, so I'll probably just end up doing is maybe I'll bring the signal down and under and take it all the way to the end, and then start coming back up, just use some repeaters with redstone. That way I can keep all the bulky part up here and then just have to run the signal down there. So, that sounds like a good idea. Well, we ran into a bit of a problem. I'm gonna have to move all of my block dispensers back. This works good, but, and I guess it doesn't really matter what I do here now. To make everything fit in, it ends up right underneath the next one. I cut myself one too short. So each time these powered this block, if I had it level the way I was, it would get powered from here. So they all started resetting, and it wasn't doing what I wanted. I tried to see if I could use different levels and stuff, but having to add in a repeater in line caused it to turn on, off. Again, that's not what I was trying to get to. The only way I'm going to be able to make this work is to be able to just do it the way we were supposed to. I'm just going to have to move all these. So, I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera. And once I have this thing all set up, then I'll come back and show you, add some water, and we'll try it out. So, alright, see you in a few, or see you in a while. Alright, everything's moved back, and I even added some lighting in, but you can see now the back went down, it pops up, this went down, it pops up, this goes down, pops up, and they're going down in order now. The only thing is, it seemed like it went a little bit, the corners of it might have just been the way the blocks were interfering. I'm just going to take a peek right now and make sure that it went down right. Because right now it's still, okay, yeah, it's good. Right now it's going down like every 20 seconds because I don't have any of the half blocks in. But as soon as I put half blocks into here, it'll turn into our 20-minute timer once I fill it up with half blocks. So let's take a peek over here. And it actually looks a lot better now with the extra room. Each one of these is identical, drops down. I no longer am underneath these, so it's not getting powered, so it's actually doing what it's supposed to do. Making sure there was nothing in the way that I was going to destroy. It's the worst part. You get to this point and you start getting nervous about touching anything. Down here, I've got this. We're going to run the output of the very last one down here, add some more repeaters, and this is going to be what we'll use to power our wheat dispensers. And since I need to do that, I've decided not to move this at all, because regardless I was going to be running wires the length, because if I put this down there, it also would be in the way of the wheat dispenser, and even with it down there, I'd still have to run the wire down to that end, because it's going to end up here, so it's always going to have to run the length. So I decided it's here, it's working, so we'll leave it the way it is. So now I just got to take the wire coming from here, and what I might just do, since I'm going to be putting repeaters, this is going to, you can just run it from here, go down, put some delays on it. Just want to make sure that all of the cows get a chance to move and that the full timer is done before it releases the wheat, because we want to make sure that the cows are able to breed when the wheat comes by them. So now that I've got this, now I'm going to have to go down and we got to figure out how to set up our wheat dispenser. I think the way, when I was looking at the way Bathasay did it, he used a single dispenser and the timing circuit with full blocks and one glass block. So it'd start out in the glass block. When it would go out to the next ones, each one of those would send a pulse. When it got to the glass, it would stop, and using the circuit created when it put out the block, it would repeat on itself. So it would, without that glass block, it would continue to power indefinitely. So that kind of, and also on the initial pulse it goes through, it would power the dispenser block once, and then the 15 more times with the full block. So find out how much room I need. Find out how far up I have to go, because this is at the killing zone right here. So yeah, we'll do some more carving out of the mountain here, and I still got to wire everything. And once all this is done, then I'll start thinking about the walls. So, all right, I'll be back. All right, so we have our dispenser set up now. You can actually see it going off right now. It's set to do 16 on the incoming. We'll head over there and show you how this works. Come all the way down to the bottom. So over here we have our signal coming from the final set of block dispensers with pistons. When it comes over here, our signal will come up, invert this redstone torch, which will come over here, and it'll power or unpower, sorry, this block dispenser, so it'll swallow the glass block, and then with that glass block gone, it'll then power again after the signal disappears, and it starts our series of 15 solid blocks. Each one coming around creates a circuit. When it completes a circuit, it'll turn it off, which then swallows a block, and then of course that takes away the signal here, which then again powers the redstone torch. So it keeps going a circle until it hits our glass block, at which case it doesn't transmit the signal anymore, and so it will stop. So we get our 15, I'm sorry, from here, and then of course the first one comes along this. In addition, as it comes over here and powers this block, it's also going to power the redstone, which then sends our path up to here to this redstone torch, which we got our vertical wiring going up. And we'll head over here. Well, maybe. Yikes. Come on, maybe I'll have to put some side blocks. I always suck at ladders. So then we come up here. The final one powers this block, which will then send the signal over here into these repeaters, which power the blocks, and that sends our vertical wiring all the way up to our block dispensers. So basically, that'll give us 16 pulses here. So we'll send 16 wheat down both of these tracks. Right now I have it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It stops there at 8 because I don't want the water flowing into here, so it'll stop. The wheat will drop off the edge right in front of the first 2 cows, and then it'll start going down the system. So it looks like we're pretty much ready here. I'm going to go ahead and add my half blocks over here so we can get our full 5-minute timer. And then I'm going to add water into the setup here, and then we will get this thing in motion and see if we can breed some cows. So, be right back. Alright, you can see we got the water flowing down there. Got water coming through here. I'm not sure exactly how far away we are from the next 5-minute timer, but I think it's fairly close. So I just definitely wanted to be here for when it all starts popping, because after that last one goes, we should see these fire off. And I just want to, we'll verify all the calves go, follow them down, make sure they hit in the holding pen. And if that's the case, everything here is running, and then it's just a matter of decorating. A little pertification, finish up the floors, hide the tower here of redstone, and then we'll start thinking about walls and stuff too. So I'm going to go ahead and keep recording here, and then I'll just skip ahead to the point at which it fires off, and then we can almost get ready to call this an episode. So, alright. Go. Our first pen dropped, second pen, third pen, fourth pen, should start getting our, there we go. There's our first off, and there we go. But why are we not? What is going on? Oh, that one's working, but this one isn't. Something's wrong with my setup here. That's okay. We can still watch that. Looks like we're getting hearts, we're getting cows. I'll just have to figure out why this one's not resetting. There must be something in my wiring. That's fine. I can figure it out. But this will at least tell us that all of the cows are breeding. I'll head up over this way. Alright. And then we can follow this the rest of the way down. Definitely funny to watch. So far, so good. Looks like we got, what, 4 pieces left, 4 cows left, so this looks like it worked properly. As long as our last 2 cows breed, I will be happy. And I may need to do a better job on this, because it looks like we got a couple of our calves that are getting out. Come on, get back in there. I gotta wall it up. Then the next thing will be wait for the next 5-minute timer to go off and make sure, you know what, get in there. That's one way to do it. Make sure when the 5-minute timer goes off that all the cows make it into the, no, get in there. I'm probably gonna end up killing you because I know you don't have a lot of hit points. But, alright, so make sure that all the calves can get through while the pens are down, because we don't want to have them out any longer than they need to. You know what? Fine. Here. How about candy instead? You want to come? You want to come? Want to come? Come on. Oh, you little... Get in there. There we go. Alright, cool. So far, looks like they're all hanging out here. Except for our one problem maker. So I think we'll, for the moment at least, we'll throw up a couple of these around just to make it so they can't hop out. Take up a little time while we're waiting for our timer to go off. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and hang out over here, and I'll keep recording. We'll wait for the fences to go down, and then we'll try to verify they all make it through. I may need to put a little more glass in the first layer, because they still seem to be jumping, and this one here is definitely going to not make it in time. He's not close enough. So it'll be a little trial and error. We'll figure out the best way to optimize it to make sure that they all fall through. Oh, and there we go. Looks like we got, what? 3 cows made it through. I may need, I'm gonna have to lower it down to maybe like 1 block for the calves so they can't jump around. I think that's part of the problem. So I'm gonna tweak around, do some more fine tuning, and we'll see what we can do to get it to go. Oh yeah, I also need to find out why you guys aren't breeding. Okay, well, I'll be back. Alright, so we had to, once again, we have to adjust. Timing just wasn't working. The gates definitely don't stay open long enough. Instead of like 1.5 seconds, maybe 2 seconds, I needed more like 10-15 seconds. So, man, I wish I could have done it the way I wanted to, because I like doing things differently, but we'll have to go the way that Bathasay did his time. And I think he ended up with the same problem I did, and thinking about it long enough, I probably could have come up with something like this, but he definitely did. So here's what he did. We got an RS NOR latch coming in here. Our signal coming from our block dispenser is going to give us about that 1.5 second signal coming in. When it hits here, it'll power this, which is going to unpower that. When this redstone torch is unpowered, means the redstone is unpowered, so we will no longer be sending power into this gearbox, so our turntable will start turning. It is on the slowest setting, and it's going to turn our buddy block. So the buddy block's going to spin around here, and when it makes a full revolution around, the redstone output here will power this line, which will come up here, reset our RS NOR latch, which will then repower our torch here, turn off the turntable, but it'll also send power down here, which is going to go to our next gate, and it'll do the same thing to another RS NOR latch over there, which will then power or allow the power to the turntable. So it's going to do this. We're just going to have this set up at each one of these. So instead of that 6-block pulse lengthener we were using, we'll end up using this instead. So I'll demonstrate that here. Again, we'll leave this powered for like a second and a half, just like it would be when the not long enough, like it will when the block dispenser powers it. Did I double power it? Yeah. As you can see, as it goes around. And also we'll have as the output of this is going to be going to the blocks, but then once it gets here, it sends that pulse to the next one, turns it off, and it stops spinning. So, yep, that was what we'll have to do. So I'm going to go back in and adjust my current setting to include this, and I will be back. Alright, I think I pretty much have this down to where we need it to be. Got some cows collected down there. Don't have the killing part done yet, but we'll go ahead and show what it is we did and some changes we had to make. Even going on further back on the gearboxes, because I thought that maybe that was the case. This thing kept getting stuck on the line going through, so it wouldn't move off afterwards, and it was kind of flashing back and forth, and I wasn't getting the timing that I was trying to get. So what I ended up having to do is, I kept slowly adding, a couple more, and I got to where this point, which is quite a few actually. But it works. So same with all of these. We got the RS NOR latches coming. We'll head down to the bottom and show it. So we've got the power coming up here. When it hits this, it's obviously going to turn this redstone torch on, as well as power these repeaters, which depowers our block dispensers and swallows our pistons. Once this gets powered, it also unpowers that redstone torch. So the redstone coming down here and powering the gearbox at the bottom no longer powers it. This thing starts to spin. When it makes it all the way around to this point here, it'll start sending a redstone signal around, and about the time the signal gets to about here, this thing finally moves off of it to here. It resets our RS NOR latch, which repowers this redstone torch, sends a redstone down here, stops our gearbox, and that stops the turntable from turning our buddy block, and it stops right here, which is where we want it to. At the same time, it comes over here to reset our RS NOR latch. It heads over here, and it starts all over again at this position. So we have this working all the way. I hate that. So I had to put all these ladders in. I hate how you fall through the repeater sometimes. But yeah, so it does this all the way up to the top until we get to the very end, and then in addition to this line of repeaters here, it sends a signal down here, which goes to our wheat dispenser. And I already showed you that. So what we'll do is we'll head up here. I will artificially reset our timer so that we can go up and watch the gates go down. Actually, it just did it on its own. Alrighty. I didn't even have to. So if we head over here, we'll go up to get a better view. Our first gate is already down. As soon as this one deactivates, that one reactivates. So there's not enough time for them to get through 2 layers. And you'll watch there, these pistons are going to go down before those ones come back up, but it's going to be like half a second between them. And we'll watch here. There we go. And then the same thing will happen over here. So, and I think it's probably about a good 20 seconds between 15-20 seconds, but enough time for all of the cows to get from one section to the next section. That way we don't have them getting left up at the top and growing into full adults before they get towards the bottom. So, yep, this works good. So, now what I need to do is come down here, set up my killing zone to start getting some drops. And then it'll be functional. We can throw some wheat back up in there. So I let it run out so that I wouldn't have a bunch of cows filling up while I was working to try and make this timing right. And then once we have that, we can put in the walls. I think my next episode is going to be the automated wheat farms to fill our block dispensers here to keep this thing going automated. So we'll at least get the saws installed with some mechanical power, so we can harvest what we have. And then for now, I can just manually put wheat in there to start gathering some resources. And then yeah. So all right, let me go start working on that, and I will be back shortly. All right. So I think we got it good to go. I've been doing some prettification stuff in here too. I still got a lot more work to do on it, but just again, I had some time where I couldn't really record, so I was just doing some other things. But take you down, show you some stuff, and then what we'll do is we'll load the dispenser blocks up with some wheat, reset the timer, and then I'll do like a little time lapse of all the cows kind of going through down to the harvesting area. So over here is where we've got our system set up. Again, this is our timer here, and go figure out why I'm lagging so bad. And then over here is where we got our delay set up. And I know I'd mentioned it before, but I'm not going to give the exact number on here because it really depends on some things. It depends on how far back of the gear you have the delay set up, because if you have multiple gearboxes and you can get one further back, there's a delay between when one gearbox shuts off and the next one does. So that changes how it is. This is just what I had to do for me to get it, and then I even went a little bit extra overboard because the last thing I wanted to do was have it ever get caught in the on position. And it looks like I had a water spill here that I'm gonna have to fix this. So alright, so we got that fixed. And again, this is just the whole timing circuit. We've already gone over this before, so we'll head back up real quick. I think this was just in case I was going to do something else and I changed my mind on. So again, stairs would come down, but this is where I got things to look a little bit nicer. And it'll also kind of take us down to where the harvest area is. So now I've got a little viewing pane going all the way down, so I can watch the cows as they come down all the different stages of this till we get down to here. Here's my on-off switch for the saws. So turn it, not that I'd ever really need to not kill it, 'cause I haven't set up a manual kill thing in here. I don't think I'll ever have an issue with the number of stuff coming out. And then of course here's how we powered it. Again, getting creative with the how we're setting these up. Some of the stuff going underneath, some of the stuff going over the top, but that we get power to all of these in line. And this signal, did I clog something up here? I'm gonna have to look into. Oh, sorry. I was thinking for a sec that this had something to do with the delay or something like that. No, that's just where the switch is and runs down. So that's how we turn off the saws. Sorry, I was getting a little confused there. And then over here, this is our vertical wiring going up to our dispenser blocks for our wheat, and that starts further down below. I may have to make an access to that, but here's my storage area. And right now, where these 4 wooden blocks are, we'll be putting in stewing pots, and that will be how we're going to make our tallow and all of our other stuff from the items we're getting from over here. I set up some some creative piping here. This is where the this is feeding off, and let me show you here real fast. If you look down at the bottom of the water there, you can see there's an obsidian pipe. So there's one under each one of these pairs of saws there, and then it feeds over to here. This directional pipe here is for ink sacs only. So any squids that get caught up inside there will end up getting killed as well, but their ink sacs will go here, so it won't clog up my system. And then over here, this is only sending up leather into those 3 chests. Got some golden pipes to keep speeding things along. This one as well is only leather, and this one is only leather. Once it gets to this point, we have our beef, and over here some more beef. Lots to show. I was getting a little creative, and it actually got my juices flowing for my storage, so my next episode is going to be more automation of my storage back at the factory. But anyway, this chest here, if you look back there, there's a steam engine, and I just got coal in there. That is turned on with this switch here. It's also got a regular intake pipe there. So anything I put into this chest here, as soon as I switch on the switch here, you can see the engine's winding down now, will get sent all the way back to my factory. And that will save me having to run back and forth with all the stuff that gets built up into these chests. I can technically stand right here, and I can, oops, sorry, a little bit closer. Oh, not on the block, sorry. This block right here. Oh, there we go. I got lag. Or something. Wow. Okay. Anyway. Reaching all the chests, including that one. Close. But anyways, it doesn't take a lot of movement for me to take it out of this one, stick it over to there, and it'll transport everything over there. The switch here we're going to use to stoke or unstoke our stewing pot fires here. So I'll be able to flip that switch. That'll tell me when the fire is stoked and when it isn't. Now I can take you back and show you. Again, we got all of our piping here. And then over here, well, here's our access. They got the power coming into our steam engine. Got our coal inside there. And then over here I've got stairs going down. I haven't put in, obviously I still have my stewing pots, I still got only wood in there. But we put our stewing pots in there, and then our hibachis. I'll be taking the power coming from our sawmill over there into here to power our bellows. So we'll do all that setup. And then the goodies coming from our chests that we're sending all the way back follows this, and this goes straight to my factory now and comes up to the floor. And in addition, I had one other thing I put in, and I may not be able to see it because I probably capped it. but if you look, there we go, got lava down there. At the very end of all of this, if there's no room for any leather or any beef, I don't want stuff to just start running back and forth and getting all that. So it'll actually just drop there into the lava and be disposed of. So once we're completely full, then everything else will end up in there. So I think it turns out pretty good. So now we'll head up to our up top, and let's go ahead and we'll get this thing started. Record the all the cows coming down all the way to the point of getting harvested and their goodies going in, and then later on I'll go ahead and I'll finish prettifying this part here. So alright, so I think I got most of the bugs worked out here. Got our cows coming down. I've still got a few small ones that are making it through, so it looks like the timing is just short of being exactly where I want it. But with the number of cows that'll be coming through here, I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. If we come back here, we can see the our sorting system at work. There we got the leather heading up into that first directional. The beef is still coming through, gets over to here, towards there in the back, and then it starts taking it up there. So our sorting is working good. What I had to do to make this work, because there's like a small lip underneath the saws. Boy, oh boy. All this water and all the entities from the cows are really playing havoc with my frames. Alright, so underneath there's like a small lip because the saws are sticking out to the edge of the block, and all the items were catching on there, so they weren't actually falling onto my pipe. So what I had to do is I had to move the pipe back to underneath the saws, and then I put the iron directional pipes behind them. So these obsidian pipes are actually going sideways, pointing towards the cows and not up. That way the water pushes all of the drops into the obsidian pipe, so I'm not losing any drops anymore. So that was definitely a change I had to make. But other than that, everything else, you can see each one of my sections is stock full of cows, so the system is working good. Got more cows that should be dropping down here shortly with our breeding. The one thing I may end up doing, and I haven't decided yet or not, but maybe instead of having 16 cows, only put in like, say, enough for 14 on each side, just so that we don't end up having the backlog. I think there's like one or two that isn't getting in here, and as they kind of go down. But the thing with that is those ones end up being the ones in the front, so it helps to make sure that there's a fully grown cow down here at the end that gets harvested first. But yep, so there we are. And oh my goodness, am I on peaceful again? I hate that. Sorry. I go back and forth doing when I'm testing this in my test world for different things, and I can't stand the slimes. I think it was this. I understand they wanted to give you room to build up really high, but with the height limit gone, I wish they could have maybe made them flat, but still put them flat at 60 and not 4, so you can only go down 4, because then you get slimes everywhere. It's really, really just annoying. But anyway, so we are going to call that an episode. Um, I want to finish the walls and add in my hibachi so we can start putting my stewing pots down there and harvesting that. But I may combine that with my storage as well, because I did some planning down here, and this is kind of how I've decided we're going to design our storage. We got like the 4 wide in the 2 middle, and then down in the middle. Each one of these is going to be one of those without the 2 extra blocks. It's just going to be like, wood block, chest, door, chest, wood block. So it's going to be 2 blocks narrower. And what we'll do is we'll take the drops coming down to the ceiling, go under the ground, and then it's going to divert and it'll come up under each one of these. So you won't see any of the piping except for our main pipe coming down. And then it's going to route everything underground, pop up into here, and fill the chest from inside, so we won't have to really do anything. Over here, where I have my first this is coming from my little quick move chest that I have at the harvest part of our cow breeder. We'll be coming over here. Right now it's just there so I can see where it is, but eventually it'll go underneath to wherever it's going to go. And I'm probably going to make one of those and put it up at my cabin storage area. So I have a quick way of sending stuff back and forth from this storage to that storage. I could use, mine carts and everything, but I kind of like the fact that I can send it down here and it will actually route it. I can send it to the area that I want it to go into. It'll take some work, interconnecting all of these and stuff and making the diamond pipes to tell what things are, but when it's all done, it'll be pretty cool. The automatic harvesting will also make it automatic storage. So that's kind of where I'm heading to now. So yeah, my next episode is going to be kind of like a cross between the two of those. I do want to finish the cow breeding farm because I also need to put the wheat farm on top of it, and that's going to be a bit of a project because I'm going to have to put multiple harvesting grids, kind of like the one I designed, because figure it takes 35 minutes for wheat to fully grow at the slowest, and we want to get as much wheat grown as possible. So the timer we're going to have to set it on is going to be a really long timer, and we're going through 32 wheat, no, 64. We're going through a full stack of wheat every 5 minutes. So I've got to I've got to make enough of them to be able to keep up with that rate, which is, pretty intensive. So that's kind of why I'd like to get my storage sorted out, and then maybe maybe I will. I'll just make the storage here my next episode so that all the stuff I do kind of can get routed. And then after that, we'll go back to the cow breeding, and we'll work on the wheat farm, the automatic wheat farm, to feed our 2 dispenser blocks. So, well, that's the episode. And I apologize for it being a long one, but there's a lot of stuff that I had to get to, a lot of trial and error and kind of getting this thing put together. And like I said, I don't like to divide episodes. I don't like to kind of cut in the middle. I had to do that with my mushroom and jungle adventure, but I was at least able to cut it in the middle between, the jungle was one episode and the mushroom was a second episode, so it fit a little bit better. So, yep, that's we'll call that an episode here. So, please rate, comment, and subscribe. Keep all those comments coming. Keep liking my videos. I really appreciate it. And subscribe for all my future BuildCraft fun. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.